morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be addressing this august audience here. I will take you through the synopsis of each of the moderators from yesterday's panel discussions, starting with the moderator, Mr. Ms.Chima of Microsoft. The panel discussion topic was on leveraging new technologies in education. The speakers were Mr. Benjamin Grubbs, YouTube and Google, Mr. Ashutosh Chadda, Director Corporate Affairs South Asia, Intel, Mr. Chetan Mahajan, CEO, HCL Learning, Mr. Rupinder Singh, Data Wing and Akash Tablets, and last but not least, Ms. Poonam Jambal, CMO, Extra Marks. The salient points were comparison of traditional versus future learning mechanisms, trends encompassing social, mobile computing, analytics and cloud computing, SMAC, virtual reality, wearable technologies and 3D printing. Given the diversity of students, Benjamin of YouTube and Google talked about what expectations will students have in the future and how will they want to learn, as well as key trends being witnessed in terms of education content consumption on this platform. Benjamin shared examples of how an Australian physics professor was creating content that was being consumed globally and how teachers could contribute to the planned education channel. Ashutosh of Intel dived into the 21st century skills required by our current students, jobs of the future not yet created, and the requirement of a comprehensive integrated policy to be implemented not only by the government but also states and individual schools. With respect to Indian education system effectively utilizing ICT-based systems or addressing core issues like blackboards, toilets, Ashu shared that both infra and technology need to work in tandem if Indian students want to vie for global jobs. This is just a synopsis, so we are just reading. Madam, you were there yesterday, so yes. We do not have the link as of now, but then in case we want to, any one of you want to go back and take a look at the sessions which were held yesterday. I'm talking to the few people who have come in new today. There is a link which has been provided to each one of you there. Please go through that particular link. You'll be able to log into that site and view what all happened yesterday. So I'm just reading through the synopsis here. Ms. Poonam Jambal of Extra Marks disclosed how her company was an actual practitioner at a ground level and the best processes from a content intervention to assessment benchmarks. She reinforced the fact that schools should look at the big picture and not individual components or in silos. The concept of flipped classrooms and how they can be actually used in an Indian context was deliberated by her. 70% of rural India are today using mobiles and low-cost devices, extending access to educational opportunities. Rupinder of Datawind talked about the possibility of easy-to-use interface. Example of a son having access from childhood, but government schools lacking the same. He reiterated that for inclusion, education providers have to make education applications and government to make broadband available in interiors of India. Devices could be not only consumption devices but also creation tools. Digital classrooms and learning outcomes. Chetan Mahajan of HCL evoked the audience to have rigorous measures in place. Schools in the fear of missing out were adopting digital interventions as well as a branding USP. However, schools need to ensure learning relevant material, content from learner as well as teacher side are integrated beforehand. The key takeaways from the panel discussion were personalization, one-to-one learning is happening. then knowledge bites to become popular. Various tools like search engines, video channels will be used. Then to catalyze and revitalize teaching and learning, proper mechanism like content, capacity building of teachers, assessments need to be in place. Then technology is here to stay. Solutions don't lie in technology, but what people do with the technology. Then we move on to the next panel discussion, which was moderated by Mr. Neil Shah, Director, Libero Sports. The session was on education through sport. Indian youth today are struggling with obesity, immobility, and other health-related diseases. The time is now for educational institutions to begin looking at integrating systematic and impactful physical education and sport programming into their schools. The benefits of these programs go well beyond the pitch as they instill youth with critical skills which can serve them throughout their lives, both personally and professionally. School owners and administrators should begin looking how they can create an ecosystem which encourages physical fitness at the youth levels by engaging all stakeholders, including parents. These administrators can gain support through programs currently being delivered by our friends at the NBA, Edu Sports or Fitness 365. Yes, just a couple of more sessions. It's like pretty small. I'll take you through the next moderator, Mr. Syed Sultan Ahmed, Founder and Managing Director, EduMedia. The topic was New Learning Agents. This session brought to the fore some very interesting innovations in the education space that look into the overall development of students and the future of learning. Ms. Ranjana Saikia, Director, Sustainable Education for Youth, TERI. She spoke about the importance of giving environment its due in our education system. She emphasized the need to include practical approaches to engaging students with real-world problems pertaining to the environment. Once children are sensitized about the issues, they become empathetic to the needs of our world. Ms. Eliza Hilton, Founder Director of Flow India. She said, children learn from experiences, and she shared her work with the students in Delhi who, through simple visits to villages, slums, and museums, learn more about the world they live in. Her project aims at exposing children to the learning that is around them that can make a meaningful contribution to their education. Mr. Bob Musica, Executive Director, Summer Discovery and Discovery Internships. The best way to get a job is to have had a previous job. He stressed upon the need to include practical work experience as part of the learning process. His work involves encouraging students to take up internships in the industry that will teach them invaluable lessons in life. He felt that students can, with their acumen for social media, be valuable interns in small organizations to work on their social media projects. Mr. C.S. Swaminathan, Director, Tutor Vista. He said, Swami's work involves around using the power of internet to bring the teacher and learner together on a common platform, thereby eliminating the need to have a structured organization for learning. Through their work, Tutor Vista has made education accessible, personalized, and affordable. Mr. Sultan Ahmed, Mr. Syed Sultan Ahmed, Founder and Managing Director, EduMedia. He said, School Cinema, a film-based learning program that teaches important life skills, values, and attitudes to children through the entertaining and impactful medium of cinema combined with workbook activities. School Cinema has brought fun into classrooms and is a great way to educate children while they enjoy the learning process. Mr. Raj Grover, Chief Mentor, Kangaroo Kids, Innovators in Education. That was the panel discussion topic. Raj Grover set the tone, challenging and questioning the core of education that remains unchanged since the industrial era. He also highlighted the fact that on one side you have the game-changer organizations like Apple, whose slogan is Think Different. The education sector is all about follow the norm. If you challenge, you fail. Whereas Failing again is inherent to the gaming program designed to challenge you through failures and push yourself to succeed. No doubt large number of Forbes billionaires are dropouts amounting to 240 billion in wealth and 70% more wealthy than the education lot. The educated lot. He also stated, issues are more deep-rooted at society level. We celebrate schools that produce toppers, colleges that make high salary placements. Entire system is broken and change, if any, is happening at the frills. The core still remains unaddressed. The panelists were a fairly diverse group, adding immense knowledge at every level. Hemant presented the format of a new product that will change the face of teacher, parent, student engagement forever, albeit at higher education level. Sanjeev spoke about the impact Kidzania has made through a process of knowing the me, learning, exploring, and having fun. Bijal, as a teacher with technology skills, rocked the session by introducing them to Edmodo, a 360-degree solution to address all stakeholder needs and the magical task of still being one-on-one through a group as large as 150 on a project. Michael shared the vision of New Zealand government to adopt the Finland and South Korea model of systemic change in education. Mohit, he introduced the group to Da Vinci Media that targets parents and children with festively packaged educational content with no advertising to disturb the concentration. Finally, Anthony introduced the team to small educational videos in any and every aspect of law, a game changer from learning and knowing the nuances of law at any and every level, right from property papers to M&A deals and so on. Last para, ladies and gentlemen. Overall, the team concluded that change at the core is not going to be easy. There will be resistance at all levels, but one needs to be persistent and keep pushing in what one believes in. A case in point was a change that Kangaroo Kids and Billabong is trying to do in K-12. Parents have embraced at the preschool and primary levels, but at mid to high level school, expect the drill and the drill. That's it. Thank you so much.